Justice is conscience, not a personal conscience, but the conscience of the whole of humanity. And those who clearly recognize the voice of their own conscience usually recognize also the voice of justice. And that was said by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Now, as alluded to by Mr. Solzhenitsyn in the aforementioned quote, justice and conscience are indelibly intertwined. One simply cannot exist without the other. In fact, it is even quite conceivable to say that the two are each other, because where true conscience is present, we will also find justice. Because, of course, justice is defined by conscience. I used to have a saying that I used many years ago when I was younger. Well, maybe not a saying exactly, but kind of a self-awareness routine that I used to go through when I was conversing with people. And if I had something that I particularly wanted to say, you know, sometimes you're in a conversation and you really want to interject. There's some line you want to say, there's some point that you really wish to make with the people with whom you're conversing. You often don't know why. Sometimes you haven't even actually thought about the comment. You just know that it's something that you really want to say. Often you say it, and then after you've said it, you think, oh my God, why did I say that? Even though perhaps it felt quite good saying it at the moment that you did. But you regret it later because you realise that what you were saying wasn't really coming from conscience. It wasn't really coming from that which is just. And so before I would interject into any conversation, I used to always ask myself 3 questions about what I was about to say. Is it kind? Is it true? Is it necessary? And if I wasn't sure that it was all 3 of those things, then perhaps it was not worth saying at all. But really you can cover all that in one question, can't you? And that is it just? Now, when we look at the world today, something that becomes glaringly noticeable above almost all other issues is the amount of injustice. And not only the injustice that's done in the bombing of foreign countries, in the jailing of people such as Schapelle Corby, but the injustice of the entire system itself, and the injustices performed every day by people within the system. I mean, some of the things we see today are absolutely extraordinary. There's no other word for it. I recently saw a report, and I have it posted on the Crow House, of Marianne Godboldo, who stood up to protect her child from child services and essentially from the state, because the state wished to give the child psychotropic medication and behaviour management medication. And when the mother stood up against the system for doing this, they literally sent a SWAT team and what looked like a suburban tank around to her house to extract the child from her possession. And you've really got to wonder at the mentality of the people who are carrying out this act. I mean, regardless of the fact that the state gave them the instructions that, okay, we've got a mother here who is not letting us give her child medication that the state demands that the child have, regardless of the wishes of the mother or the needs of the child. It's just what the state says, and I've got it here on this piece of paper that says we have to go around and extract this child from this woman. And look, if you were a police officer or you were part of the National Guard or whichever group it was, the SWAT team that was going and terrorising this woman, when you looked at the paper and it displayed the amount of force that you had the ability to use to extract this child from this woman in order to medicate the child, would not conscience dictate that you question this order? Question the forces from above who gave you this order. If they are telling you that you have authority to use this much firepower and this much heavy weaponry and this amount of officers to go and extract a child in order to forcefully medicate it, I mean, you would have to ask why. you simply would if you were in any state of conscience. So you've got to question why people would behave in this manner and how they would justify their actions, why they would think this way. And of course, when you look at it, what you find is that people think this way because they have been trained to think this way, because they have been trained to look and act externally from their own conscience. And it's very interesting to see how prevalent this is in our society. It's interesting to see how prevalent it is within the banking system, within the political system, within the police structure. All of these types of institutions act absolutely without empathy, without any conscience or justice whatsoever. And it's very, very telling to look at our legal system and see how unjust the legal system actually is. I mean, even when people go to court, they say, well, the court isn't about justice, it's about the law. But the law is created by people, and if the law is unjust, then what is it doing as a law? How can that be? How can we create a system of legal guidelines if these legal guidelines are unjust? How can we have a monetary system that is designed to perpetuate scarcity and have this system function within legal parameters and call it a just system? And how can people operate within these systems with any degree of conscience? And of course the answer to that is that people do operate within these systems, and they do justify their actions by the training that they've had and the beliefs they have of what is important, what is real within reality. And unfortunately, what most people perceive to be real within reality is essentially that which is unreal. They perceive the economic system and the set of rules and guidelines that have been imposed upon society by politicians and banking interests to be real, when in fact these things are the most fictional aspects of our whole social system. And they are the fictional aspects that have been so very instrumental in enslaving the population and in stealing and extracting everything that is real from the people and making it the property of the state. And what is the state? The state is the system of control that is in place that allows the people within the state to only ever have just the bare essentials of what they need in order to survive. And it trains them that if they want to achieve more than that, then they need to do it at the expense of the people around them, by profiting from the people around them and by controlling the people around them. Life is about power, life is about acquisition, and at the end of life, the one with the most wins.